since the Holocaust. And let me be extremely clear about this. I brought some visual aids for those people who don't actually believe what is eminently true, which is that Hamas is not the same as the West. Hamas is not morally equivalent to Israel. If you don't believe me, this is what Hamas is. This is what Hamas is. Hamas is murdered babies burned in their cribs. What Hamas is Shani Luke. Shani Luke's body, her head was found today, her skull was found today. She's a young woman, she's 22 years old, and she was murdered by Hamas and taken back to the Gaza Strip, where she was put in the back of a truck. Anyone who draws moral equivalence between Hamas and Israel, between Hamas and the Jews, is a Jew hater, full stop, end of story. So the category error. The West has become shy about its own principles. The West has become humiliated by its own principles, and instead has decided to substitute an idiotic notion that everybody thinks the same way, and it's not true. And because the West thinks that, the West falls into these category errors where they believe you can buy off terrorist groups like Hamas, where they believe that Hamas's actual goal is not what they say. Hamas openly says their goal is to exterminate all Jews, but we can't believe them because we're so paternalistic that we believe that we don't believe them. It must be economic discontent. It must be a land dispute. Or maybe it turns out that people who burn babies in their cribs, who rape mothers in front of their children and then murder both of them, maybe they don't think like you. Maybe they don't think like me. Maybe these are people who have a different worldview, and that worldview cannot be combated by pretending it away with morally relativistic bullshit. That the people who would do the sorts of things that we saw on October 7th are not morally equivalent to people who try to target those terrorists, who are trying to kill those terrorists, while the terrorists themselves are bragging about putting civilians atop their rockets. Okay, any moral equivalence that's drawn in this conflict by the people who are chanting outside should be treated as evidence of anti-Semitism, because if you cannot take sides between what we saw on October 7th and what we see in Hamas and what Israel is doing in response, you have lost all moral credibility.